Turning 70 isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning of a brand new, beautifully unscripted chapter. You've earned every gray hair, every laugh line, and every ounce of wisdom. But here's the truth. What made sense in your 30s, 40s, or even 60s might not serve you anymore. After 7 decades of showing up for others, now is the time to show up fully for yourself. It's time to let go of outdated expectations, toxic obligations, and pressures that no longer fit the life you've grown into. In this chapter, you don't need permission to slow down, speak up, or chase what lights you up. This is your moment to simplify, to savor, and to thrive. Let's explore 12 things that no longer make sense and discover the freedom waiting on the other side. 1. Chasing youthful beauty. For decades, women have been told that beauty is something they must chase, hidden in wrinkle creams, hair dyes, cosmetic procedures, and endless efforts to look younger than they are. But after 70, that narrative just doesn't make sense anymore. Beauty is not the absence of age. It's the presence of life. It's the way your eyes light up when your grandchildren run into the room. It's the laugh lines earned from decades of joy and tears, of stories told over coffee, and memories made around the dinner table. You've spent years trying to meet impossible standards pushed by an industry more interested in your dollars than your dignity. But now, you've earned the right to show up fully as yourself, gray hair, soft skin, and all. Instead of investing hundreds of dollars on anti-aging serums that promise to erase time, why not put that money towards something that makes you feel alive? A new experience, a watercolor class, a trip to the coast with an old friend. True beauty at this stage of life isn't found in flawless skin or a smaller dress size. It's found in your presence, your confidence, your grace. Stop chasing youth. You already embody something far more powerful. Authenticity. 2. Holding on to clutter. There's something quietly exhausting about having too much stuff. Every closet bursting with clothes that haven't been worn in years. Every drawer crammed with unused gadgets. Every cabinet filled with old dishware you haven't touched since the 1980s. After 70, holding on to clutter, physical or emotional, no longer makes sense. It doesn't bring comfort, it weighs you down. Many of us grew up in a time when saving things just in case was part of survival. We held on to gifts we never used, Tupperware without lids, and magazines from the Clinton era. But now that stuff is taking up more than just space. It's stealing your peace of mind. It's harder to move freely, harder to clean, harder to breathe easy. Decluttering isn't about getting rid of your history. It's about choosing what still serves you today. It's about making space for light, for movement, for calm. Start small. 1 drawer, 1 shelf, 1 box. Ask yourself, does this item still bring me joy, or has it served its purpose? Let go without guilt. Pass on heirlooms to loved ones. Donate what could bless someone else. When your surroundings reflect simplicity, your heart feels lighter too. At this stage in life, your home should be a sanctuary, not a storage unit. You deserve to live in a space that feels open, peaceful, and filled only with things that support the life you're living now, not the one you lived 30 years ago. 3. Fighting battles that aren't yours. By the time you've reached 70, you've likely played the role of peacemaker more times than you can count. You've stepped into family squabbles, tried to mend hurt feelings between friends, and maybe even carried the emotional weight of others just to keep the peace. But here's the truth. Not every battle is yours to fight. And after 70, holding on to other people's conflicts just doesn't make sense. You don't need to referee every disagreement between your adult children or feel obligated to fix old wounds from decades past. Stepping in can sometimes do more harm than good, especially when it leaves you feeling drained or caught in the middle. Your emotional energy is sacred now. Protect it. Years ago, I inserted myself into a silly disagreement between 2 relatives about who would host Thanksgiving. I thought I was helping. Instead, I ended up exhausted, frustrated, and somehow blamed by both sides. That was my wake-up call. Sometimes, the wisest thing you can do is step back, Let others learn to solve their own problems. Even if it's uncomfortable to watch, you've earned the right to choose peace over chaos. Your time and energy are precious commodities. Spend them on what nourishes you, joy, connection, and the people who fill your cup. Not every hill is worth climbing, and not every fight deserves your attention. 4. Saying yes to everything. For most of our lives, we've been taught to be agreeable. Say yes to the bake sale. Say yes to hosting the family barbecue. Say yes to volunteering, babysitting, carpooling, even when we're tired. But after 70, saying yes to everything simply doesn't make sense. Your time is no longer something to give away freely. It's your most valuable resource, and you've earned the right to protect it. Every yes should be a wholehearted one, not a reflex born from guilt, habit, or people-pleasing. There was a time when I believed being constantly busy meant I was living fully, but I soon realized that I was exhausted, not fulfilled. I missed slow Sunday mornings, quiet cups of coffee, and afternoons spent reading on the porch, all because I had overcommitted myself again. Now, before I say yes, I pause. I ask, will this bring me joy? Do I have the energy for it? If the answer is no, I give myself permission to politely decline. Life after 70 should feel intentional, not overscheduled. Say yes to what lights you up and no to what drains you. You're not being selfish. You're finally honoring the life you've worked so hard to build. From striving for perfection. Perfection chased us for most of our lives, from spotless homes to matching holiday decor, from homemade meals that looked like they belonged in a magazine to trying to look put together at every age. But after 70, striving for perfection doesn't just feel exhausting, it feels unnecessary. I remember hosting Thanksgiving one year, determined to make everything flawless. I polished every surface, ironed the tablecloth, and even baked a pie from scratch with a perfectly crimped crust. But by the time the guests arrived, I was too tired to enjoy the laughter, the stories, or even the food I had worked so hard to prepare. That was the moment I realized no one remembers the perfectly folded napkins. They remember how they felt in your home, welcomed, relaxed, and loved. Now I embrace imperfection like an old friend. If the casserole is a little overdone, or there's dust on the bookshelf, so be it. My focus is on presence, not perfection. Your worth is not measured in how flawless your home looks or whether your hair is done just right. It's in your warmth, your wisdom, and your ability to laugh at life's little messes. Let perfection go. Life is far more beautiful when it's a little messy and a whole lot real. 6. Ignoring your health. When you're younger, it's easy to brush off small aches or put off a doctor's visit. But after something, ignoring your health no longer makes sense, and it can come at a cost you can't afford. I used to think a little knee pain or feeling tired was just part of getting older. But one day, I could barely make it up a flight of stairs without wincing. A quick checkup revealed that earlier care could have saved me years of discomfort. Taking care of your body now doesn't have to mean grueling workouts or strict diets. It means showing up for yourself in small, meaningful ways. Daily stretching, balanced meals, regular checkups, and listening when something feels off. I've started prepping simple, wholesome meals each Sunday, so I'm not tempted by processed food during the week. I stretch every morning for 10 minutes, and I stay on top of my appointments, even the ones I used to put off. The truth is, nothing steals freedom faster than poor health. You deserve to feel strong, mobile, and energized, no matter your age. This isn't about adding years to your life, but life to your years. Your body has carried you this far. Now it's time to return the favor with love, care, and attention. 7. Maintaining toxic relationships. By the time you turn 70, every moment feels more precious, and wasting that time on toxic relationships simply doesn't make sense anymore. For years, many of us held on to friendships or family ties out of habit, guilt, or the belief that we should. But now it's time to ask, does this relationship lift me up or wear me down? I had a friend, let's call her Susan. We'd known each other for decades, but every time we talked, I walked away feeling emotionally drained. Her conversations were full of criticism, complaints, and negativity. Still, I stayed connected out of loyalty. It wasn't until I realized how much of my emotional energy I was giving away that I made the hard choice to step back. And you know what? It was the most freeing decision I've made. You don't owe anyone your peace. Not a childhood friend, not a distant cousin, not even someone you once shared everything with. Relationships should feel reciprocal, respectful, and rooted in kindness. Surround yourself with people who bring light into your life, who celebrate you, listen without judgment, and make you feel safe to be your full self. Letting go isn't cruel, it's self-respect. And at this point in life, peace is worth protecting at all costs. 8. Believing it's too late to try something new. One of the biggest myths about aging is the idea that after 70, your life is set in stone, that you're too old to start something new. But the truth is, this season of life might be the perfect time to begin again. When the kids are grown and the career chapters have closed, you're left with something truly priceless. Time that finally belongs to you. For years, my life was wrapped in routines, work, family dinners, school events, laundry, repeat. I told myself I'd pick up painting someday or learn Spanish one day, but someday kept slipping further away. It wasn't until I turned 72 that I walked into a beginner's watercolor class, nervous but excited. I was clumsy at first, but I left with a smile that hadn't touched my face in years. Since then, I've tried baking sourdough, joined a book club, and even signed up for a local dance class. The joy didn't come from being perfect, it came from being curious. You are not too old, you are just getting started. New hobbies, new passions, even new friendships are still out there, waiting for you to say yes. Forget the idea of age limits. The only expiration date on dreams is the one we believe in. Try something new, not to impress anyone, but to reignite yourself. 9. Avoiding technology. There was a time when I told myself, I'm too old for all that tech stuff. Smartphones felt overwhelming. Tablets were confusing. I'd hand the remote to my grandkids and say, "You do it, honey." But one afternoon, my granddaughter sat with me and showed me how to use a tablet, and something changed. Suddenly, I could video call my best friend in Florida, look up a new soup recipe, or watch YouTube videos on how to grow tomatoes in raised beds. I even joined an online book club for women over 60 and discovered I'm not the only one who was once afraid to press the wrong button. Avoiding technology might seem harmless, but the truth is, it can isolate us. It's a bridge to connection, learning, and fun, and it's never too late to cross it. You don't need to become a tech expert. You just need to be open to learning, one small step at a time. Ask a family member to teach you. Take a free class at your local library. Explore at your own pace. Technology isn't the enemy, it's an invitation to stay connected, to keep growing, and to embrace the world around you. And trust me, if I can learn it at 74, so can you. 10. Worrying about what others think. If there's one weight that becomes heavier the longer we carry it, it's the need for approval. For much of our lives, especially as women, we're taught to care what others think about how we look, how we parent, what we say, and even how we age. But after 70, worrying about other people's opinions just doesn't make sense anymore. I used to second-guess everything, from what I wore to church, to whether my holiday gift was good enough, to how my decisions might be judged by neighbors or even strangers. It was exhausting, and it kept me from fully enjoying the life I worked so hard to build. One day, my daughter looked at me in a bold floral dress I hesitated to wear and said, "Mom, if it makes you happy, wear it." And she was right. That day, I felt more like me than I had in years. Here's the truth. The people who truly matter love you as you are. They're not keeping score. They're not critiquing your hair, your clothes, or your opinions. So wear what makes you feel radiant. Speak from your heart. Dance, even if it's just in your kitchen. You've earned the freedom to live unapologetically. Let go of the fear of judgment. It's too heavy to carry into this beautiful chapter of life. 11. Neglecting financial planning. Talking about money isn't always easy, but after 70, avoiding financial planning can lead to unnecessary stress and missed opportunities. Whether you have a lot saved or just enough to get by, knowing where your money is going and having a plan gives you something priceless: peace of mind. I've had friends who ignored their finances, hoping things would work out, but unexpected medical bills, rising living costs, or helping a grandchild through college can quickly throw off even the most careful budget. On the flip side, I've also seen women live so frugally out of fear that they forgot to enjoy the retirement they worked so hard for. The best thing I ever did was sit down with a trusted financial advisor. We reviewed my monthly expenses, my savings, and even what I wanted to leave behind for my family. It wasn't about judgment, it was about clarity and confidence. Good financial planning isn't about restriction, it's about freedom. Freedom to enjoy that weekend getaway, take a pottery class, or treat your loved ones without second-guessing. It's never too late to take control. Even small steps, like creating a simple monthly budget or reviewing your insurance, can make a world of difference. You deserve to feel secure, steady, and empowered in this stage of life. And that starts with knowing your money is working for you, not against you. 12. Fearing the aging process. For years, we've been told that aging is something to dread, something to hide, fight, or reverse. Wrinkles became flaws. Gray hair meant fading. Milestone birthdays were whispered, not celebrated. But after 70, fearing the aging process no longer makes sense. In fact, it's time we flip the script. Aging isn't loss, it's liberation. I used to avoid mirrors on my birthday. I'd downplay my age, hide the candles, and invest in every cream that promised to turn back time. But one day, looking at my reflection, I saw more than lines. I saw life. Those creases around my mouth, years of laughter, the softness in my eyes, decades of seeing the people I love grow and change. Every mark told a story that youth could never match. Aging brings clarity. It brings strength, the kind you earn, not buy. It brings freedom from trying to be everything for everyone. It invites us to live more honestly, more deeply, more joyfully. We're not disappearing, we're becoming. So let's stop shrinking ourselves to fit a younger mold. Let's celebrate birthdays loudly. Let's embrace our wisdom, our softness, and our resilience. This chapter wasn't meant to be feared. It was meant to be lived, fully, boldly, and without apology. Age is not the end, it's the reward. Reaching 70 isn't a finish line, it's a fresh beginning. It's a season to release the expectations, pressures, and habits that no longer serve you and to fully embrace the freedom that comes with age. You've spent decades caring for others, showing up, holding it all together. Now, it's your turn, your time, your chapter. Letting go of these 12 things isn't about giving up. It's about making room. Room for peace, joy, curiosity, and connection. Room for long walks at your own pace, deep conversations with people who truly see you, and slow mornings with your favorite cup of coffee. This stage of life is not about shrinking. It's about expanding into the most authentic version of yourself. Age has given you perspective, strength, and the right to choose what matters. So wear what makes you feel radiant. Speak your truth, laugh loudly, and most of all, give yourself permission to live boldly and beautifully, just as you are. Because life after 70 isn't about holding on. It's about letting go and finally feeling free.